If you're a reader of magazines such as Food and Travel, or trade titles like Food and Drink International, you may have recently spotted news of a brand new tipple that's landed on these shores. This is Mahua, spelt Mahua, and is something completely unique within the drinks market. The story of Mahua arriving on these shores is that of a passionate business which has shown enormous resilience in making its dream of bringing Mahua to the UK a reality. I first learned about it within my PR business at Catapult PR, when its driving force, Harry Hewitt, contacted me in the middle of COVID-19 lockdown here in the UK to say that he had a dream of bringing to these shores a drink that the colonial Brits had banned in India during their rule there, but which is absolutely sensational and unique, and he wanted help promoting it. The trouble was, back in 2020, that his first shipment of Mahua flowers, destined for the distillers, was stuck on a boat in India, unable to be shipped due to the pandemic. Since then, things have thankfully moved on, albeit slowly. Mahua has, however, arrived in the UK and is creating quite a stir, even in its early days. So today I'm speaking to Harry's wife, Kallan, to find out more. Hello, Kallan. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Jane.
Now, to explain a little to our listeners, Mahua is a new drink in terms of the product that you've created, but it's one based on an alcoholic beverage that's actually centuries old, isn't it? Could you tell our listeners a little bit about the origins of it?
Mahua, yeah, it's really interesting. It was actually used in ceremonial ceremonies in India for tribes in central India, and it was used for religious services. Of course, with the colonization of India, the Raj kind of went, no, you don't make your own booze. So it moved into smaller stills, but it's now actually gaining predominance again. I mean, Madhya Pradesh have just actually said it's a heritage alcohol. So it's actually being re-legalized because it was made illegal for so long. So yeah, it's really interesting, but it's also used for food and it's also used for medicine. I mean, at the moment, we're looking at pain relief. As well as the actual spirit itself. So it can be used for pain, eye cleansing, liver cleansing, and also it's on the Ayurvedic scale of cool.
Right, okay. And it comes from a flower, doesn't it? Mahua is distilled from a flower.
Yes.
And we think it's the only spirit in the world that's actually distilled from a flower. So it's unique in that respect.
Yeah, as far as we're aware.
Yeah. And I believe that the Mahua tree is absolutely revered, isn't it, in India, because it is seen as the giver of all things, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, traditionally, I think one tree lasts about 4 families, and it's a very beautiful flower as well. The process is, I would describe it a little bit between, because I like gardening, it's probably a little bit between a magnolia and a honeysuckle. And it flowers overnight, and then the flowers drop, and the villagers collect them, and then they're dried and used. So it's a really beautiful little process. And as far as we're aware, and we've done quite a lot of research into it, it is the only spirit made from a flower as far as we're aware. So it's incredibly exciting to be on board with this new project.
Yeah. And although it's been in India all these centuries, I mean, you sort of intimated why we've not heard of it in Britain, because when the colonials got there, they just didn't want people to know about it, did they? And that's probably why.
Making their own drink. I mean, I'm half Irish, so I remember my grandfather making poutine. You know, and of course that was made illegal, and I think that's only just recently become legalized. And there is also the background of, you know, all of these things were made illegal by the Raj, but now they're being re-legalized, which is actually just really nice. Real excitement about Asian drinks at the moment. Real excitement, and it seems to be the new thing. So, you know, we're really excited that we are the only people outside of India, one of the few people outside of India to actually make this drink.
Yes. And how did that come about? I mean, how did you discover it?
That's my husband. My husband is a very interesting person, and he's incredibly determined. So we tried it in India, and he thought he could do it better. And Harry doesn't let things like, I have no drinks background, I don't necessarily know what I'm doing, He just has a thing of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to throw myself full pelt at it, and it's going to be a great success. So, he kind of thought that the drink that we actually had in India was quite rough, but he loved the story. He loved the fact it was made from flour. He loved the fact, that it's Ayurvedic and it has other healing properties and things like that. And he wanted to really release that over to the UK and market. So that's really his determination. This is, this is why I married him, to be honest. Because he is one of the most, he's incredible. He's so entrepreneurial. He doesn't let lack of knowledge or anything stop him. He just goes for it, and he basically always has a great result.
Yeah.
So the only man I know who won't put up with being sick. So in the 20 years I've known him, he had a cold for a day. I had COVID. He had a cold for a day, and he said, "I don't want this anymore," and it was gone.
Mind over matter.
He really is mind over matter. Yeah.
So, it's made from this flour, but does it have a floral taste when you're drinking it?
It does. At the moment, we've actually got two products. Excuse me. We've got a spirit and a liqueur. So the spirit, I would describe it as, those in the know will know that shishu seems to be the big thing at the moment. But it's like a shishu, which is vegetable based, but it's actually got a really nice floral undertone. So with regards to the actual initial taste, it's quite punchy. But then it kind of, the taste is the aroma is really floral, and the taste kind of goes into some sort of kind of creaminess, and then just kind of just lingers and then dissipates really beautifully. The liqueur is we've tried to make the liqueur vegan. So originally Mahua in India was made with honey, but honey of course isn't vegan. So we've gone with an agave. And I would say the notes, it's much more floral. I would say it's more like a sort of demerara sugar. It's not as harsh as white sugar. So it's very floral. It's kind of honeysuckle and lilies and cucumber and melon undertones. It's incredibly smooth. And both drinks work straight, on the rocks, or in cocktails, and they work incredibly well. And the taste is really distinct. So when people say to me, what does it taste like? I obviously have my interpretation, but the response that we're kind of getting from other people, because there's no taste reference point, is that it's a very light floral drink, and it's incredibly refreshing.
Yes. And when you're drinking it, do you prefer it on the rocks or in a cocktail? How do you personally?
I have drank it in every which way, but actually, I drank a lot of it actually. Yeah. But I had it. We normally have it on the rocks. I've had it straight. It works incredibly well with like lemon or elderflower for me anyway. But we've had it with Coke. We've had it with ginger ale. We've had it with lemonade. People's taste profiles are completely different. I know people red wine with Coca-Cola. It's not for me, but in Portugal, it's a very popular drink of red wine and lemonade. So, it's all about. I don't think we can kind of get too bogged down in the idea of what it should be with. I think it's about how people want to use it,
enjoy it. Yeah. And, we mentioned the C word, COVID, a little while ago, but I think COVID actually delayed the arrival of this product in the UK, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had, we've had bottles from Ukraine. Then, of course, we can't get bottles from Ukraine because there's a war in Ukraine. We've had thousands of bottles smashed. We've had problems actually painting the bottle. We've had problems with distillation processes and water. We've had problems with wet storage. We've had problems with transportation. Everything that could possibly happen happened.
Yeah.
But that actually, to a certain degree, that was kind of a benefit, because that meant that we could concentrate on actually having the best product that we possibly could have. Um, and that's really through the genius of working with, Brains Brewery, who do the fermentation, and Hensel Castle, who do the distillation. So it's actually distilled twice. So the first time it's distilled, the tails are removed, and then the next time goes through the distillation, the heads are manually removed, and it's just from the heart of the product, and
Right.
that's why it's so floral.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we're talking about this about a UK drink, but actually this is all happening in Wales, isn't it?
Yeah,
So is the distiller in Wales?
yeah, we're all in Wales. Yeah, the distiller is in Wales. The Brains Breweries it's probably one of the well, it is the largest Welsh brewery.
Mhm.
We're based in Cardiff,
Yeah.
so but we used to live in Goa.
Oh, right. Okay.
That's how we found the drink in the first place.
Yes. Okay. And where are you currently selling the products?
We are selling it at a lot of independent retailers. We also sell it on our website, which is alcohol.com, but I'll go through that in a minute. We're selling it through independent pubs, and we've just got a deal with a chain of restaurants, which is really interesting. And we're in final talks with a distributor.
Mm.
So things happening.
Yeah. Are these Indian restaurants or?
Yeah, well, yeah, they are. It's interesting because we've got there's a chain of Indian restaurants who when they found out about it, he was like, "Oh, I can't believe we found this. I've been looking everywhere for this."
Mm.
But we've also got some really cool bars and and restaurants and stuff who have just gone bananas for it. So it's been really. I can't say that there's ever been any negative feedback about either one of the products, and that's because I think the products are so different.
Mm. Yeah, something brand new for people to try and
Yeah, everyone's really
experience.
excited about actually having a brand new product on the market, and the
Yeah.
fact that it's a Welsh product. It's obviously an Indian product, but
Mm.
it's made here in Wales. So we always say, it's grown in India, but it's made in Wales, and
Yeah.
people absolutely love that.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, I think there was a survey by the Senedd recently that said that 1 in 3 people identify themselves as being Welsh,
Mm.
which is a
Yeah.
really high proportion.
Mm. It is.
That
Yeah.
people are really keen to buy,
Local
locally.
products. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. So if somebody's looking for this on the shelf, what should they be looking for? What's it look like? What color is it?
It's a black bottle,
Hmm.
uh, and it's either purple, which is a spirit, and it
Yeah.
has mercury on it. It's very embellished. It's rather beautiful. Um, and then the liqueur is black with a green label, which is
Okay.
embellished. It says
Hmm.
Mahua straight all over it. So
And
yeah,
is it a straight bottle or a dumpy sort of looking bottle?
I'm trying to think what kind of bottle it is. It's probably a bit like an old-fashioned bottle, a bit like
Mm.
a rum bottle. That's
Yeah.
what it
So
is.
let's look for the Mahua label in purple or green and go ahead with either your spirit or liqueur choice, I guess. So there's more to this drink experience, I believe, than just drinking it, isn't there? There's also a ritual involved with it.
There is a ritual. Basically, you're supposed to pour a glass. You're supposed to put it in your glass in cupped hands. You're supposed to look at your compadres and look into their eyes and say namaste, and then you drink it, and then you wobble your head. Well, the
Mm,
wobbling of the head in India, I didn't realize that actually happened, but it's everywhere, and it's really interesting because it can mean so many different things. So
mm,
it just translates into lots of different stuff.
yeah. So there's a kind of little addition of Bollywood, I guess, to it, isn't it? As you're drinking it.
Absolutely,
Mm,
absolutely. In fact, we actually had a Bollywood star at our wedding. So yeah, no, it definitely is. It definitely is. It,
mm,
it's a premium drink. It's something that can be really easily enjoyed. Um, and yeah, it's pretty exciting.
yeah.
And the whole ritual, it's just a bit of fun. But
Mm. It adds a bit of a party vibe to it, doesn't it, really?
absolutely, everyone loves a ritual when you're drinking.
Yeah. So, and also, I know you've just won some awards for the product, haven't you? That's just really exciting.
Oh gosh, yeah, blimey. We've just won a silver at the London Spirits competition, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of competitors. And we won a silver. We were 1 point off gold.
And that was for both products, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was amazing. For something that effectively isn't known to
Mm,
actually get that kind of prestigious award is just amazing. And then we've also been told that we should expect some results from some competitions in the US, and that they will be pretty favourable. But unfortunately, that's going to happen tomorrow. So we haven't got that good news just yet.
okay, so it's watch this space for those. Yeah. So how difficult has it been as a small company to do all of this?
Um, it's incredibly difficult. First, we have a product that, although we're incredibly passionate about, people don't necessarily know what it is. Um, of course, with COVID and timelines and being so small and working on a shoestring budget doesn't help.
Mm, yeah.
Not AU vodka, but we are slowly catch a monkey,
Mm,
and the more awards that we receive, and the more feedback, and the more we're reaching out to other people, I'm incredibly positive that it's going to be a phenomenal success.
mm,
You
yeah.
know,
So you think it's going to be the next big thing, really, for the British drinks scene?
yeah, my Harry, my husband, he knows Merlin from first dates, and Merlin really raved about it. You know,
Mm,
so we can only really take it from experts in the industry,
yeah.
and every person that we've actually spoken to who works in the industry has just been blown away by it, because
Mm,
it's just so different and it's so distinct.
mm,
You know? And that's what makes it incredibly exciting. And we're small, but we won't be for long. I mean, if
no.
we think about, we only really launched in June of last year, and we did that part time. We've won awards, we've got a really good response, we're in a chain of restaurants, we've got a distributor, we're all doing all the great good things.
Mm,
And we will be launching it nationally. We will be going further abroad. I mean, we've even got inquiries over from Japan and America and Australia.
yeah.
So, for a very small company that's probably not 6, 7, 8 months old, we're doing
Mm,
really well, and we're
yeah.
really pleased with progress.
Yeah. So it's all very exciting, isn't it? So what's the next step really for getting it embraced in Britain? This distributor sounds like it's going to be a great asset to try and
Yeah,
get.
it's going to be amazing. Well, we just increase our client base. We keep on increasing our client base. We keep on winning awards. We're talking to a distributor in Japan, as I said. We're talking to a distributor in Australia, and then we're just going to go global with it.
Yeah. And how can people go about ordering this? Either if they're independent or if they're in the trade and want to order bulk supplies.
Right. Okay. Well, at the moment, we can probably do that online. Our website is alcohol.com, but it's spelt in the Arabic fashion. So that's ALKOHL, and that's ALKOHL.com. And then just send us any inquiries and we can put you forward to a local distributor.
Mhm.
You can buy direct from us.
Right. Okay. And how much would it cost people to get a bottle?
It works out to be, obviously there's different rates for restaurants and bars, but it works out to be about £44.
Mm. And so for something unique and to try something you've never tried before, that's a great price, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean we're an artisan. It's an artisan product, because I
Yeah.
mean not only are we, we want to basically decrease our global footprint, but we're buying the flowers directly from the tribes. We don't have any. It's a vegan product. It's done locally. We have a real oversight about how the production is made. It's on the Ayurvedic scale. It's something unique, and it's something that we're not a big distributor,
Mm.
and this is a premium product.
Yeah. And I think it's worth saying, isn't it, that, this really helps the tribes. It gives them an income, doesn't it? They
Oh,
really,
yeah,
rely on that flour to actually give them the money to survive.
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. And that's, that kind of can't even say it now, but that being ethical about the way that the processes and the way that you're actually working is actually really brilliant, and it's a great incentivizer because because we're small, we can focus on every single aspect of its production.
Yeah. And I think, also worth saying, you're not just claiming it's vegan, you've actually got the official certification to prove that, haven't you?
We have from the Vegan Society, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's so important for a lot of people, isn't it? Given the growth in veganism,
Yeah.
it's a
Well,
real.
it's just the idea that, I mean, when we were first looking at doing it, Harry said honey, and I was like, no, we can't use honey.
Mm,
And I think a lot of people don't realize that honey isn't vegan,
yes.
and that wines goes through fish scales, skin and stuff like that. So a lot of drinks actually exclude vegans, and we
Mm,
wanted to be really inclusive about this.
yeah.
So so yeah, it's really exciting.
And are you going to any shows at which people could perhaps see you in the near future?
Yeah, we will be going to shows up and down the country. I think we're doing the food and drink show in St Fagans. Most of our shows that we're doing at the moment are actually more sort of Welsh side, but we are also looking at doing some in London as
Uh-huh.
well.
Yeah. So is this just the beginning for Mahua? Because it sounds like you've got other projects already on the boil, and other things in mind to kind of like develop the brand further. So can we expect great things in the future?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, we're constrained by time, or my husband's time, because obviously he's working a full-time job, hence I'm doing this podcast. But we are looking at doing different flavors. We're also looking at doing extra strength as well. That's such something. I think 40% for me is quite enough, but for some people it isn't. And then we're also looking at maybe a berry or a spiced flavor.
Okay, yeah, that'll
Um,
be good.
and then of course we've also just done a pilot for pain relief as well. So we've been working with some people who've got cerebral palsy and actually rheumatoid arthritis and looking at how the Mahua cream actually affects their pain. And the response to that has been really good as well. So the pharmaceutical side will be something once we've actually got some sort of more of a global reach or something that we can plow our money into. So that's something we're definitely going to be doing in the future as well.
Yeah, it sounds really exciting. So
It is, isn't it?
So for now, everybody needs to get out there, find these bottles, get online if they're not in Wales and can't find them locally,
We
and
do ship
hopefully,
globally. We've shipped to America, and in fact, we actually shipped to my aunt's doctor, which I didn't even know about. She
okay.
lives in rural Galway.
So literally anywhere across the world, you can.
Anywhere, we don't have any boundaries our shipping
Yeah.
ability.
Well, thank you very much, Callan. That's been great to hear about this, and hopefully, everybody will be seeing this on their shelves very soon and able to sample this brand new drink. Thank
That's great. Thanks so much for your time, Jane. Lovely
you.
speaking to you.
Bye.
Bye.
So, how exciting was that to find out about something that is really going to be the new gin, and something that you could really impress your friends with this summer? Since we spoke to Callan, which was little more than a week ago now, Mahua has actually just won the World's Best Floral Drinks Award at the World's Drinks Awards in the USA, scooping a magnificent gold. A little bird also tells me that there's another International Spirits Award in the offing, but we just can't reveal that at the moment. But do watch out, because news of that will break in about a week or so. So hopefully that's real vindication of just how wonderful a tipple Mahua is, and every sign that if you love your spirits, you should be asking your local off licence all about Mahua and when they will make it available. In the meantime, order it online and be one of the very first to appreciate why this tipple is known as the elixir of the gods. Until next time, do take care, and remember that, as I always say, life's so much more fun when you're poodling around.